Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because it seems that every day we keep getting more and more wild news about the economy. And here's one that just blew me away. And that is, if Starbucks can't survive, what chance do we have? So please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. And today we have a sponsor who came back. Chuck Norris is back. I'll talk about him in a bit. So let's get right into it. First things first, the largest coffee chain in the entire world is Starbucks. Starbucks has over 18,000 locations, and they are closing 1,000 locations right now. That is wild, guys, when you think about that. They are going to eliminate over 900 corporate jobs. Now, think about this, guys. They have over 3,000 corporate jobs that they have for the company that don't have, coffee house, connections, completely separate from that. So with that, they're making all these massive changes, and here's the thing. People have written me and said, oh, this is because of the unionized stores. They're going to close those. It doesn't matter. They're closing underperforming stores. And one thing that Brian Nickel has done, he's the new CEO. He's been back for a year now, and he's been at the company for a year, and he came from Chipotle, and he turned around the burrito company, and now that he's at Starbucks, he's spending all his time with making this place more profitable, and wants to bring back the coffee house vibe, is what he calls it. Now, a few things, you know, when locations lack financial performance, they're done. But think about this, guys. This is a huge warning sign for each and every one of us right now. And that is, if Starbucks cannot survive, what chance do we have? I said that in the beginning. This is really serious, guys, because, Starbucks used to be a communal place that people would go to. You'd use the internet, you'd use the coffee, you'd get coffee and hang out and get work done. Students would use it all the time, and it's just done. The restructuring of these stores is going to cost Starbucks $1 billion. They're going to ditch $1 billion to save money, in the future. It's going to cost $150 million in benefits for these people, and it's going to cost $850 million in store closures, leases. I mean, think about this. Here's the thing that people don't get. Hey, we're closing this location. You're still responsible for the lease. Now, okay, Dan, we're going to sue you. Okay, good luck, guys. I'm bankrupt. Have a nice day. Well, Starbucks isn't bankrupt. Starbucks has to pay these leases. So is it cheaper to try to work out a deal with these people and say, hey, listen, what if we remodel this place and we exit, we rip the signs down, we rip everything down that makes it Starbucks, and you guys give us 6 months off the rent? Things like that. Again, a good guy to talk to about that would be a guy like Aaron Smiles, who, broker Aaron, that talks about all this stuff, because I'm sure he's dealt with things like that in the past. But it is getting crazier and crazier and crazier with all this stuff. This is the second round of cuts that Starbucks has done in 2025. They already laid off 1,100 people in the corporate side. I mean, how many people, when you think about these companies, how many people work in-house for a place like Starbucks? I mean, it's wild to think about. So, well-known brands are forced to cut back right now, but this goes to show you guys how bad this economy is. You have the auto industry in trouble. You have home builders in trouble. You have the price of lumber dropping. Not, oh, well, Dan, this is going to turn around home building. No, people are not buying lumber right now. So what are we going to do? We're going to keep the price high? No, we're going to ditch it. Plus, coffee right now is going to be, they think it could be at an all-time high per pound by the end of 2025. You guys have heard all the stories about Brazil, Vietnam, and everything else. Starbucks even had to close down, one of its largest roasters in Chicago that prepares the coffee. And either you love it or you hate it. I like it with the K-cups and stuff like that because it's super strong and it lasts a long time when you use it that way. To me, it does. So, what do you guys think about this? In my eyes, this is a sign of just how upside down everything is right now. And I think that we haven't seen anything yet. When you hear about home builders having trouble, when you hear about interest rates going down, and then the lie of the last 10 days of, wow, refinances are going through the roof. No, they're not. Talk to brokers. They're not. People have inquired when are rates going to go down, but they haven't put in an application. Things are difficult right now, guys. Things are troubled. I'm over at Sherman Gardens right now. It's really overcast and cool this morning, which is really, really nice down here by the beach. But this place has got all the gardens, all the different sections. Got a restaurant that's absolutely packed this morning, and it's just very symbolic right now of what's going on with the economy. But again, have you seen this with the Starbucks? Do you know anybody that works at Starbucks? My son used to work there, and he's out of state now and lives in a completely different area. So I'll have him reach out to some of his old employees and friends and things like that, and see if there's anything he can add to this as well. But I don't know. It's definitely raising the red flag for Starbucks and how bad this is. Let's talk about our sponsor, Chuck Norris. One thing that was sent to me was a new video on things that Chuck's doing to maintain his health. This guy's in his 80s and he's in fantastic shape and he's eating right. But one thing he's talking about right now is 3 foods you need to eliminate out of your diet. It gives you more stamina, more energy, and has made him feel better with his workouts and hanging out with his grandkids. Check it out today. If you go to chuckdefense.com/Dan, you can see this video. Now, the best thing to do is just use the link below and go directly to it. But, he has advice in the video on things he's done to get himself in shape, and it's made a big difference with me too. So, as I'm trying to take better care of myself, the advice from Chuck Norris is a big deal. So check out these 3 foods to avoid. Go to chuckdefense.com/Dan. Check it out today and see what's given Chuck Norris, all this energy and stamina. Check it out today. Now, this is a great story. Who remembers Radio Shack? Remember those places you'd go to? They had something cool when I was a kid called a Battery Club at Radio Shack. They were over 100-year-old company that finally went down for the count. Well, they were purchased by a man named Ty Lopez, who was an online marketer, and his financier, Alex Murr. So these guys started something called Online Ventures. And what they did was they started to acquire brands that were in bankruptcy. COVID hits, and these guys put their foot on the gas all the way down like their Bobby Axelrod and started to acquire things like Linen and Things, Dress Barn, Modell Sporting Goods, Pier 1 Imports. They bought it all, man. They went and they moved these to go to an online experience. Now, the cool thing about this was that they brought investors in, which was really impressive. They brought these investors in and they said, look at the return you're going to get because we're going to start selling this stuff through Radio Shack again and all the other names that we've heard of that I just mentioned. Here's the problem. Sales were not there. The company did not do nearly the business that they projected out to their investors. So what did they do? They pulled a Madoff and they took money in and then used that to pay off investors. They are accused of a $112 million scam of defrauding people right now, which is huge. This is something that the SEC doesn't file things like this lightly and say, oh, we think this is what they're doing. They pretty much got these guys. And this is really disturbing because, these are brands that I'm telling you, they just couldn't buy one of these locations. They just couldn't make the one successful. They had to do it all. And again, like I said, it's the Bobby Axelrod, foot on the gas, we're going all the way. Now, here's the thing. These guys are both successful, Ty Lopez and Alex Murr, but this looks really, really bad. So, these poor investors, it's not like they lost $1 million. It's over $100 million at this point. Have you guys gone to any of these websites? Have you bought anything from Radio Shack recently or Linens and Things or Pier 1 Imports for that matter? Stores like that, I always enjoyed going to when you could walk in and pick stuff up and grab it. That's where I got more out of that. I don't enjoy going to a Pier 1 Imports and seeing something online. It's just, to me, it's not the same. So these guys are in serious trouble. And it's unfortunate because I've heard about Mr. Murr. Ty Lopez, I followed quite a bit, and his reputation as an online marketer is really, really good. And he's all over TikTok right now and doing live streams and things like that. But I think they've got a real problem on their hands. So read the story below. It'll be the second one, and let me know what you think. One thing that I talk to you guys a lot about is we have a private channel, and lately we've talked a lot of politics on there and things that are happening in the news with people that got hurt and things like that that we can't talk about other places. But one thing that is going to happen, it looks like there's going to be a government shutdown. But guys, I'm telling you, I hate politics. I really, really do. And I really hate the nonsensical thing. As a parent, as a business owner, as a friend, as a consultant that helps people through their business problems, I can't stand this. Okay. Now it looks like the government shutdown is going to happen, and in fact, I want to get this quote right because there's going to be reductions, and you need to prepare to fire a ton of people. Reduction in force action. Okay. One thing that I don't get is you have a new administration, and the Democrats are saying, hey, listen, we want to maintain things from the Affordable Care Act, and we want to maintain things from the previous administration, including funding health care for illegals. Guys, no, I'm telling you this right now. I am a single man that spent a boatload of money on insurance. I have good insurance, get to pick my own doctors, and hope to God I don't break my arm or have a heart attack or anything insane, but it cost me a lot of money to have this. I have a family member who just had surgery, and it was down to the wire if this was going to get covered or not, and it was some real shenanigans, and they have great insurance like this. But you want to give people that are not citizens of this country insurance? No, man, no. I'm sorry, guys. The rest of us have to struggle and pay our bills, and this is a mess. Now, again, not trying to be, have lack of compassion. It's trying to have a sense of what's going on right now. I personally want you to understand something, that if the government shutdown happens, I want you to read this because this will be the third article below. Core services including Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits, military operations, law enforcement, immigration services, air traffic control will continue regardless of the shutdown. So don't tell me that grandma's not going to get her check. She's getting her check. Okay? It's ridiculous to waste a keystroke on that. I hate that. Because when you people send you your fake emails and you don't have the guts to let me respond to you, you're wrong and you're making this stuff up. We need to get together. We need to stop the animosity with both sides, and we need to come together. It's that simple. It is that simple. You're going to see over the course of the next week, you're going to see a lot of breaking news. You're going to see a lot of stuff that's going to happen that is going to completely be insane for our times. Now, some people are going to really enjoy this. Some people are going to be very furious over this. But for guys like me that do the news and stuff like this, you're going to see a lot more videos. Sure, now in the end of the month. So, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is real? I'm telling you, both sides need to come together. Don't get me wrong. They need to have a thing called compromise. But you cannot sit there and give away the store year after year, month after month. We have $37 trillion, in our national debt. Let me know what you think. Now, here's some good news. And, we talk about all these store closures and all the problems. And then you have, one state that's going crazy. Florida has all these stores that are being added, grocery stores. You've got 21 new locations that are being added between now and the end of the year. You've got Aldi, Publix, Walmart is adding stores. You've got, in addition to that, you've got Trader Joe's. And they're saying this is just the beginning and that the economy is doing well in certain parts of the country. That may be. What is the least expensive car in the United States? New car in the United States. I didn't know. Nissan Sentra. It starts at $23,000. Came out in 1982. And this car is going through its 8th revamp. And if you read the story below, it's kind of cool because it's actually a nice little car. They've got a computer inside now, digital lights, things like that. It's a regular combustion engine. It's not electric. It's no shenanigans. But if somebody's trying to buy an inexpensive car, this is definitely the way to go. I mean, because it's really, really reasonable. And speaking of cars, another day, another 115,000 cars get recalled by lovely Ford, and that is pickup trucks that have a defect in the steering. Come on, man. I mean, when are we going to stop with this stuff? I mean, if you guys should just take your Ford vehicle and drive it to the dealership and said, I know you're going to have another recall in the next few days. Just fix it and let me know when they're all done. Because it's just, there's been like 2 million recalls that have been issued on Ford vehicles. And I'm not really exaggerating because it's just been so many in the last 3 months. It's just been nonstop. Now, speaking of autos, there is a place called First Brands that does auto parts. And Goldman Sachs steps forward and says, listen, we don't think that this company is going to be able to survive. They have $6 billion in debt, and they're not going to be able to restructure the debt. No one's lending them money, including Goldman Sachs is not lending them any more money, and they don't know how they're going to survive the current downturn of auto repair, stores closing, shops closing, recalls, people not being able to afford fixing their cars. People are putting off getting their cars fixed like never before. It is a huge problem that just doesn't want to end. So, man, oh man, I mean, it's nonstop. You just keep seeing this. One thing that's crazy right now with this economic downturn is with the tariff situation, this has only happened one other time in the history of our countries. More people from the United States are visiting Canada than Canadians coming to the United States. People from Canada are not visiting us. They are just not having anything to do with it. So that's completely been reversed. And as of last month, more Americans are going to Canada than are coming to the United States right now. See all these changes, guys? See all the problems? Final thing is, number one, this is the final story. Huge problems with Cracker Barrel. We saw that. They have been dethroned as a great place for breakfast. I've never eaten breakfast there before. But that was the first problem. Number two is that they're going to bring back $5 unlimited pancakes because of the debacle with rebranding and people just not going there. So, again, it's crazy how these brands shoot themselves in the foot and then just can't figure out what the problem is. Well, you take your core customer, and I would speak freely on the private channel, and do things to them, and then people leave dramatically. So you can go get $5 pancakes at Cracker Barrel. Okay? Don't forget the private channel, iAllegedly Live. A lot of good stuff happening there right now. You want to get a hold of me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. And reach out, guys, anytime. Okay? Love the stories. I love all the information. And I will see you guys very soon. Okay? Onward and upward.